everybody, I'm Hal Weeks and welcome to episode 6 of my special Prizim edition Stalking the Wild Autoharp, and I'm hoping to finish it out for you this week. I have, this is actually the 7th episode. The first one was the very first episode of Stalking the Wild Autoharp that I ever did way back in June of 2016. And then just recently I started a series for advanced players who have moved to having an interest in the Prizim. The Prizim is a chromatic autoharp that sounds real full because it's got all kinds of special chords that you formulate by pushing 2 chord bar buttons. And if you're not familiar with that yet, I urge you to go back and look at the other videos in this Prizim series, and I'll tell you how to find the index in a few minutes. I wanted to talk to you though, in finishing this up, about a few more chord forms that I haven't touched on yet. The first is major 7ths. And the major 7ths, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And they sound real kind of jazzy, new agey, and they're real easy to make. They're made on the center row of chord bar buttons by pushing down 2 adjacent ones. It's that simple. So if you have familiarized yourself with a Prizim fingering chart, and again I will tell you how to find those at the end of this video, you're just going to push one star chord and another one. For example, if I push C star and G star, I get a C major 7. And so on down the circle of fifths. So if you have songs that call for major 7ths, now you got them. All right? So the other thing I wanted to touch on is the hidden minors. Now, we talked before about minors and how you play them. You can play them as a bridge by pushing down these 2 adjacent ones with 1 finger. The minors are up here in your back row. Okay? Remember, minors shifted up a row. So on my harp, which runs keys of C through E, I have my top minor here is A minor. All right, but there's another place that I can play that A minor chord, and it's here. Okay, so one of them is here, the other one is here, and there's a row of minors. It's the same minors, but they are different fingerings, and sometimes alternate fingerings can be more convenient depending on what kind of fingering you're trying to work out. And so you go for the alternate minor instead of reaching across the harp to grab that and coming back. It all depends on your song, but I use the alternate minors in a number of places. So my regular minors, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. But this alternate minor is my D minor. Remember I said A minor is here? D minor would be here. But I don't have that button and I don't have that chord, but I do have it here. So really I've got 8 minor chords on my autoharp. So whenever I need that D minor, it's here. Now if you had the key of F here, like most people do, then that would be your G minor chord. Okay, so alternate minors give you another way of fingering your minor chords that may or may not be more convenient, and it comes in handy, let me tell you. All right, the last thing I wanted to talk about is minor 6ths. Those have an awesome sound. And I've got 4 of them on my Prizim. And you won't find those on the fingering chart because to finger them you've got to jump across a number of keys like this, just like the true sus4s are spread out, and they it messes up the fingering chart when you try to put that on there. And so they're hidden, waiting for you to discover them. And If you want to play Eleanor Rigby, you'll be set because it calls for some minor sixes. And when you see that in the music, you'll go, huh? Can't do that. Well, yes, you can if you got a Prizim. Okay, so, all right. So I'm forming that by pressing down, for example, my A minor 6/7 and my D9. All right. Once again, go back and look at other Prizim videos and it'll tell you how these chord bars are set up. So there you have it. Those are the last three kinds of chords that I wanted to touch on that the Prizim has and uses, at least the ones that have names. There are some that have, like, you have the ability to play chords with no third, or power chords, or what's just called 5 chords like E5, A5, you know, I'll use those. And come together right here. And there's some other chords waiting for you to discover once you start messing around with your Prizim. So I wish you luck in playing with your Prizim and enjoying it. You can open chord on the Prizim, which really smooths out your chromatic melody playing, just like a diatonic. It's got a few little tricks to it, though. So, you know, like every Autoharp, you know, you have to practice with it and get used to it. But it's a wonderful feeling to be able to open chord in 6 keys. So that's pretty fun. Okay, so that is my summary of the Prizim Autoharp, put up here for posterity, and as long as YouTube lasts, or as long as my videos last, whichever comes first. I don't know how that works, but Stalking the Wild Autoharp is now done with the Prizim for a little while. Thank you for enduring it with me. If you are picking up good tips from Stalking the Wild Autoharp and you're interested in contributing and being a member of what's going on with Stalking the Wild Autoharp, maybe getting some behind the scenes stuff, if you go over to my Patreon page and pledge $1 or pledge $5, pledge $10 a month, that will help me to continue to do these, because I've got some amazing plans, and I'm going to tell you about that in the next video. Patreon.com/HalWeeks. It allows you to become an active participant and to tip me, basically, for all of the teaching work that I'm doing for you right here on Stalking the Wild Autoharp. If you're interested in maybe some private lessons, then consider going to halweeks.com, where you can find out about my private lessons that I teach online through Skype. So there you have it, the Prizim Autoharp. Weeks. We'll see you next time on Stalking the Wild Autoharp. Bye-bye.